This is Jonathan Agger, Pro Boxing Fans, joined by promoter Ben Shalom. Last one of the day. Yep. Ben, here for Adam Azim's return next weekend. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. It's been a bit of a journey to get here with Adam headlining. It's only his 6th fight, so to be doing that already is a big achievement for him, and it's obviously one he's looking forward to. It's a tough one with Rylan, who's made people look stupid in the past, and fought a lot more experienced guys than Adam Azim, and he's coming to win as well. So it's a big fight to take this early on, but very confident with Adam Azim.
It's not often in boxing that contracts get publicly announced, but you decided to sort of make the point that he's extended his contract. Was that sort of deliberate?
No, I think it was. We think he's one of the futures of British boxing, if not the biggest potential in British boxing, and we want to make sure we take a long-term approach with him. Sometimes when you're working fight by fight or 3-fight deals or even 1-year deals, it can be very damaging sometimes to a fighter's development. I think you want a long-term picture for him and for us, so that we can sit back and make sure he's developed properly, make sure he gets the right fights at the right time, and make sure that he builds his profile as big as possible. And it was a big moment for us, because we know from the level of interest in Adam Azim within the industry, within the UK, within the US, all around the world, wanted to get his signature, and it was a big occasion for us and for him as well.
Certainly his biggest test to date. Is there some nerves on your part?
There always is, because anything can happen in boxing, but ultimately there's no nerves on his part. He was destined to do this. He's been destined to do this since he was 6 years old, and here he is headlining this early on in a test like this on a huge platform. To be honest, more excited than anything, and for him it's the start of a very, very special journey as well.
Obviously you're going next Sunday, World Cup begins this weekend. Are you, and I guess other promoters, a bit concerned about sort of doing shows during this time, given the fact the World Cup's going to take all the headlines?
I think it's important to try and keep boxing relevant during the World Cup, and that's why we've taken the opportunity with the Super Sunday slot that does huge numbers for Sky, and is obviously a very famous slot for them, and bring boxing. I think boxing needs to now, I think actually it could present an opportunity where there isn't the Premier League now, and boxing can take centre stage on certain broadcasters, and I think it's going to be a good end to the year. Obviously people will be looking forward to the World Cup, but the boxing goes hand in hand with football, and I expect it to do well.
Talking about sort of this year, you've had a lot of big shows, pay-per-view shows, etc. And recently Simon Jordan said you're the second best promoter currently in the UK. What do you make of that? I mean, you're obviously new to the game, a year or so in, so a bit of credit from Simon there.
Yeah, wouldn't have mind #1 spot, but no, I'm joking. I think I don't really look at that. I never have. I don't think it's about promoters being better than each other. I think we're all doing a job for boxing, and to be honest, I think it's not helpful when you start separating promoters and rating promoters, because all that's going to do is ultimately stop fights maybe happening or create too much, and really we should be focused on the fighters. Yes, credit the promoters where they do good work, but ultimately I'm not focused on that at all.
Fair enough. Just a few more before we finish up. Smith against Eubank. Is there any update you can give us on when and where that takes place?
No.
Are we going to get an update soon?
No.
No,
yes, we're going to get. We'll announce both Taylor Catterall, Eubank Smith. Hope to announce dates in the next week or so.
I'm hearing that Taylor Catterall 2, the rematch, is going to be on Box Office and is going to be in Glasgow. Can you confirm that?
No.
Another wait and see. Yeah.
I think so. I think, look, we're working through different things. They're two massive fights for British boxing. We want to make sure they're in the right place at the right time, and they'll be announced very, very soon. And I want to make sure that I don't ruin those announcements. And it's two massive fights for the sport, and ones that I think in both their own ways need to happen. And I'm glad that they should do, and I can't wait to announce them.
And just closing off, Ben Whitaker, can we have an update on when he might be back?
He will be back February, March time. Anyone that's an athlete or knows athletes know how hard it is when you get injured, particularly early on in your career. So it's been a tough time for him, but a time that he can reflect and really think about his return. And we obviously, for us, we expect him to go right to the very top of the sport, and can't wait for him to be back. After his debut was one of the best debuts I've ever seen, and can't wait to have him back in March.
And Shalom, thanks for talking to pro boxing fans. Obviously, you've got this show next week and then closing the year with Bournemouth. So, yeah, we'll look forward to seeing how the rest of the year plays out.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.